All right, peace and blessings, and welcome to another episode of YB's Collaboration Corner in conjunction with Self-Publishing 30 Days. I am your host, Rob YB Youngblood, President of Sales for Self-Publishing 30 Days, and your LinkedIn locksmith. I'm here with JK Bridges, who is a phenomenal young lady in the DEI space. I'm going to give her an opportunity to tell us about her in a moment, but what we do here in YB's Collaboration Corner is we highlight movers and shakers that are making moves in their industry, and we love to be able to showcase them so they can tell us how to collaborate with them and how they can collaborate with us. So JK, welcome to YB's Collaboration Corner. How are you doing today?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming.
Amen. I know you've been doing quite a bit of traveling. You've been making some moves. Tell us a little bit about yourself, JK, and let us know about your background.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for asking. I've actually been in the human resources, corporate training, and technical talent acquisition space right around 27 years total. So, I'm not going to say when I started. I'm just going to say I started real young.
Yeah.
But as you can imagine, with a career spanning almost 30 years, there's an array of things that I've done. I've been blessed over my career to hold titles as regional of recruiting. I've done corporate training. I'm now back into corporate, talent acquisition management on that side of things. So as you can tell, my career it's been plentiful. I can truly say that, but equally, I'll be very transparent, Rob. I've also gone through some scrapes and some bumps. I've had the highs as well as the lows.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's one of the things that I do like to be very transparent with people about, because, just careers in general, if you really think about it, in the last 15 years, the job market has been, it's been volatile, very volatile. And so I just always like to live as an example and let people know why it's so necessary to network and collaborate. And so I'll kind of delve in that a little bit later. I don't want to, start talking on it too much, but that's really me in a nutshell.
Yeah, I love it. So where are you from originally? Where's your hometown?
Yes, so I am a Hammond, Louisiana girl, born and raised by way of Mississippi. I do claim Mississippi because I spent a large amount of my years there. So yes, I am a good old-fashioned Southern girl.
Southern Belle, you're a Southern Belle.
That's right, I am. I tell people all the time, don't get it twisted because I am a lady.
Come on, I love it. So how did you end up in the diversity, equity, and inclusion space?
That's a great question. And, to be honest and fair with you, I actually fell into DE&I by default. As I mentioned a moment ago, I started out my career doing human resources at that time in the early years when I was with Comp USA.
Right.
I was there for right at a little bit over 11 years. And so little by little, I worked my way through the ranks, got all the way to, a corporate level, a regional level where I was responsible for 3 different states, Arizona, Nevada, and certain portions of California at the time. And so by default, I ended up falling into DE&I because at that time, we was one of the first emerging companies to really recognize the importance of hiring military spouses, which is what I was at the time, hiring persons of color, diversity, hiring individuals that was military affiliated. And so from that moment, it was almost kind of like I caught the bug. And so I've really been doing DE&I long before it became now what we call the progressive thing to do.
Right.
If you really think about it, Rob, most people really didn't start understanding DE&I until we kind of started hearing about it in 2008, then it died down. We heard about it again in 2013, it died down. We heard about it again in 2015, died down. And then flash forward, now it's 2018. And now it's just really has just gone through a major explosion, of course, thanks to all the different, occurrences that took place in 2020.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a ton of people in the DEI space. As a matter of fact, one of my alpha brothers by the name of Dr. Marlon Moore was the very first person that I referred and recommended to Self-Publishing 30 Days. And he has since, he's now a published author, and his book is used to impact other DEI professionals all around the world. And so we look for ways to be able to align ourselves with other DEI professionals who have a story to tell, that they want to be able to make
Absolutely.
an impact in the community. So now that you're in this space, you got into it by default. Tell us, what is it that you do now? What's your current role now, and how do you move and shake in your industry now?
Yes, so I'm currently with a great organization called GovSpend, and I am the corporate technical recruiter and DE&I individual here. I am sitting on a very strong platform for the organization. This is one of the things that I highly admired about GovSpend when I came aboard, and then just to be able to be a part of the team for what they're doing, especially in the DE&I space. I'm grateful that we're being very visible as well as hyper vigilant with activities and things that we're doing to attract transitioning military personnel, military spouses, women in tech. It's sad to say, but even after all these years, here we are, Rob, in 2021, and the demographic for women in technology, irrespective to the color rim, we're just a little bit under 3%. Then when you factor in the color factor, the number gets, as you can imagine, even lower. Right. So I'm definitely being a advocate, for that demographic. The LGBTQI community is another one that, have often been heavily overlooked. I'm grateful to say they have gotten a lot of momentum, a lot of traction in recent years, but I would like to take that same type of momentum in which they're doing and see if we can incorporate that in other sectors that's still heavily underrepresented.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And so when it comes to collaboration, like, describe, what is your definition of collaboration? Like, what does collaboration mean to you?
That's a great question. And, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a chameleon. I feel that, I'm one of those people, I know how to adapt as needed. And I say that simply by what collaboration looks like to me may look very different with someone else that I want to collaborate with. Right. However, whomever that individual is that I'm collaborating with, once we've had the opportunity to develop that rapport and we recognize that this is something of value that we each bring to the table, then yes, I'm going to adapt. I'm going to conform to what is necessary in that moment. Yeah. And that's really what it's all about. And oftentimes, even just in our daily lives, Rob, we have to do things like that. You can't all the time do it the way that you think you want to do it. It's crucial to be able to be one of those people where you can be very fluid in what you're doing.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So as we talk about collaboration, who are the types of people that you want to collaborate with? So when you think about, because you mentioned that, and I heard you was very specific that you're a chameleon, so you collaborate differently with folks that you just collaborate with versus people you want to collaborate with. I heard that very clearly. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but who are the people that you want to collaborate with? So, for example, if they're watching this episode of YB's Collaboration Corner, if it's on LinkedIn, somebody jumps on it, who are the people that you would want to collaborate with in your current role or just in what you do in general?
I love that question. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to answer that. So, there's three wonderful, amazing individuals that really stands out. One is Tara J. Frank. She's very strong in the DE&I community. She's written several books herself. One of her books I currently own. She also have worked many, many years with Hallmark. I believe she have well over 20 odd years and may have at this point retired from Hallmark when she decided to go independent. But I have followed her for many, many years. I love the things that she do. Another one is Miss Liba. She's amazing on LinkedIn. She's a top LinkedIn voice. She's written for the likes of Forbes, Times Magazine, CNN, and she's currently an Ebony host of a podcast for Ebony Online. So I really love all the things that she herself have done with regard to the DE&I space. I love Liba because for the fact she's very fierce. I love that about her. She's kind of one of those no hold bars type of individuals. And in more ways than one, she really resonate with me. And then I would have to say Tana M. Sessions, She is a phenomenal lady within her own right. She actually kind of reminds me of a modern day Iyanla Van Zant, but more on the DE&I space. That's really how I see Tana. And I highly, admire her. I love the things that she's doing. She's spoken on just an array of platforms. She's a well sought after speaker. So I would have to say, I try to, choose individuals with such a strong background such as them, because, you got to have something to aspire to. Yes. And so for me, those are the individuals that I aspire to, in addition to, looking at the other people, out there, such as, the Oprah Winfrey's. Oprah has Mississippi ties, such as I do. So, if you don't have Oprah as someone that you're looking up to, something is seriously wrong on that.
I love it. Listen, I wrote these young ladies' names down because they're names of people that I don't know, and you never know. I may be able to approach them and get them not only on the podcast, but facilitate a connection. But let me ask you a question. Sure. Why these women? I mean, obviously you could have mentioned anyone, or you could have been like most people and just been very general. You were very specific in selecting these three women. Why these three women? Was there a specific thread between the three? Are they very well known in the DEI space? Like what, and let's categorize the type of collaboration that you would want to have outside of these three women. What's the common thread? Like what was the reason why you mentioned them versus being general?
Well, I love the common thread with them is they're all three are very powerful women in their own right. And I love the way that they shine. They do it in a very articulated manner. They do it in a very professional manner, but yet they do it in such a way where, again, I'm going to have to use that word. I'm going to have to steal Beyonce's word. They're fierce, and I love that about them. And I love the fact that, they've been very diversified. They may have started out in one particular career field, but they've been able to take that career field, a lot like what you're doing, Rob. You've been very diversified in what you're doing with regard to even to your platform. So, hey, I wish to give you a big kudos as well. Thank you. So when I look at those women, they may have started out in HR or they started out in DE&I, but yet they was able to expand on it. And notice how I mentioned to you, each of them in their own right, each of them are well sought out in terms of being speakers. They're each, writing books. They're each, doing workshops. They're each doing different types of podcasts. So they have really branded themselves, because as you and I both know, in today's time, even if you're in corporate America, it's all about branding.
That's right.
So for me, I felt that, they were individuals that was good models for me, in other words. And, and these women, they probably don't know me from a mountain to a molehill, but nonetheless, I am definitely, one of their strong cheerleaders, and I've been following them for years. I will admit all three of them I'm actually connected to on LinkedIn, but of course, they all have such a large, diverse and, huge network and have many followers, and equally as I do too. But, that's how I came about years ago. So I've actually been connected them for very many years now.
So I'm going to throw a really strong question, because this could be the catalyst for you to be able to connect with them. So what would you want these women to know about you, and why would they, or why should they want to collaborate with you?
Wow. That's a great question. If I had to answer that truthfully and wholeheartedly, I would say, number one, I think it's great for we as women to give back. Not only give back to our communities, but give back to one another. Because at the end of the day, it's all about being a stepping stone, be a model. So if you're going to truly say that you're a model, and I even put this same pressure on myself, sometimes we reach out to people and we say that we want a mentor, we want someone that, will really take us under our wing. But sadly, we're living in times where we don't see that anymore. I'm actually from an age and generation where, if someone saw you trying to aspire to something, no one had a problem coming along and taking you by the hand and saying, okay, baby, come on, let's go this way. Right. This is how you do X, Y, and Z. Right. So for me, I would really love the opportunity if those women, would be willing to, have an opportunity with me, share a conversation with me, and give me those pointers on the do's and the don'ts, because I'm certainly receptive and open to constructive criticism, because I highly admire them. And then honestly, I probably would be awestruck, just to be able to be in their presence amongst them, to be able to say, these are kind of like my dreams come true. They are my Oprahs of LinkedIn.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, listen, I'm gonna put my coaching hat on right now, and I'm gonna encourage you to step out on faith. If you haven't done so yet, reach out to them directly. But I'm gonna be your cheerleader, and number one, connecting with them myself, and I'll make sure I'm one of your CAOs. You know what a CAO is?
I was gonna ask you,
A
break it down
CAO
to me.
is a Chief Advocate Officer. Okay, I was doing a talk for a supply diversity group this week, and I heard someone say that it's important for us to attract 5 CAOs, and a
Wow.
CAO is a Chief Advocate Officer. These are people that are in rooms where you're not, and they're speaking your name in places where you're not located yet. So I'll be happy to be one of your CAOs and
Thank
see,
you.
and if I connect with, well, not if, I'm not gonna say that, when I
When
connect with Miss Franks, Miss Leva, and Miss Sessions, I'll make sure to bring up your name in conversation. So as we begin to land the plane, JK, what words of wisdom would you share with someone who's up and coming in their career that will allow them to be successful in either the DEI space or just in their career? What words of wisdom would you share with someone who's up and coming?
Absolutely. I would say one of the greatest things someone young and up and coming can do is, number one, visibility. Be visible, but be visible in a positive light. You know, like I know, Rob, not all good attention is the best attention. You know, well, I'm sorry, I misworded that. Not all attention is good attention. So, you know, if you're going to draw yourself in the limelight, you want to make sure that you're definitely doing it in a positive light, you know, in a constructive light, in a way that is going to be well received and where you can grow. And so I definitely encourage people, even when I conduct classes, you know, under my personal business umbrella, Bridges Business Services, I always tell people all the time, make sure you're putting out constructive content, but equally work your notifications. LinkedIn have notifications, you know, in your top right-hand corner. And, you know, for any person, no matter who it is, any person, if you are failing, if you are refusing to work your notifications, then you are shooting yourself in the foot. I just had a young man on last evening when I was going through my notifications.
Yes.
And I was following up, and it gave me a notification of someone's birthday. And I crafted a lovely message, and I do all of my own messages. And my message was so well done. The individual came back and he said, "What service are you using for your automated replies?" And I kind of did the LOL. And I told him, I said, "Well, sir, with all due respect, I am my own automated service. There's nothing automated here. I have now maxed out, Rob, my LinkedIn connections. I have 30,000 LinkedIn connections. I have well over 20,000 followers on LinkedIn. And I'm very proud to say I earned, yes, I did say earned. I earned every last one of them. I never paid for any subscriptions on LinkedIn, you know, of that nature. So all of my connections, all of my followers are organic. And I have done that over the years, even with you and me. If you go back and you look through the thread, because as it turned out, you and I have been connected for several years now, right around almost 4+ years, soon to be 5. And every last one of my communications was always, you know, my original stuff, you know, things that I have written on my own. So I would definitely say, definitely be organic, be authentic, and be vigilant. Work those notifications.
I love it. Yeah, you're speaking to my spirit right now, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm the LinkedIn locksmith, so anything that comes with that, you're talking real good right now, which is phenomenal. Good. So we're about to land the plane, so I got to throw a quick curveball at you. You know, we're affiliated with Self-Publishing 30 Days, the #1 self-publishing company in the world. If you were about to write your best-selling book, right? You about to write your best-selling book. Where in the world would you travel to write that book if we were paying for it?
Oh, wow. I love that question. So as I often talk about, I had the good blessing to live abroad for a number of years. I would definitely have to go to Germany. I love Germany. All the way from Ramstein to Heidelberg to Stuttgart. I would definitely have to say Germany would be my sweet spot. Yes.
I love it. I love it. That's a phenomenal question. I had a conversation with a gentleman just yesterday. He told me Maldives. A young lady told me Hawaii. I had somebody tell me just Africa. Just drop me off anywhere in Africa. I'll go anywhere in Africa. I said, I love it. Well, listen, JK, I appreciate your presence. Thank you so much for investing your most valuable gift and time with me and our guest. of the YB's Collaboration Corner. How can people find you if they have a desire to collaborate with you?
Yes, I definitely welcome everybody to join me on LinkedIn. I'm listed under JK Bridges. I'm wearing a black outfit. Unfortunately, I will have to say there's another individual that has a name, JK Bridges. I don't know how this individual, male or female, acquired my photo, but if it's yes, it's another profile out there, and I have been working viciously with LinkedIn trying to get that changed. But I am the one with the yellow looking hair with a black outfit on. So that's the one that you want to follow, but I'm also the one that has the 30,000 connections. So I would encourage people to please follow me. My hashtags are JK Bridges, another hashtag in the spotlight with JK, and hashtag Let's Talk with JK. So those are my hashtags. They can definitely follow me. Right now, I'm currently only on LinkedIn. However, one of the new things that will be coming about in 2022, there are a couple of other platforms that I do intend to be on. So that's in the works. So be looking forward to that, as well as I do have a business LinkedIn page, Bridges Business Services. So between those two pages, that is how they can currently reach me.
I love it. Your energy is contagious. A great way to start the day. Thank you once again for your presence. And for those of you who are watching, definitely follow and connect with JK on LinkedIn. She's a tremendous resource and a ball of energy. You've been listening to her doing this podcast. And as we always do, our focus is on bringing you movers and shakers who are making moves and they understand the value of connecting and collaborating. I'm your host, Rob YB Youngblood. I serve as the president of sales for Self-Publishing 30 Days and your LinkedIn locksmith. And it has been a pleasure being with you today. Be encouraged, be blessed, but most of all, continue to share the faith. And the way that you do that is by walking in your gift, because your gift will make room for you. We'll see you next time. Peace.